And we're live! Hello all and welcome. I am the Realist Philosopher and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing alright. Could be better. Start of a week and all that. Nobody likes Mondays, right? But other than that, I guess I'm okay. I suppose. Jeez. Trying to get some websites to open here. As usual, I had very little time to prepare before the show, so I don't know which websites are going to work and which are not. I live in a part of the world where my internet is crap, so I don't know what's going to work and what ain't. That's life. Well. Oh, well. All right. Nope, nothing's working. Wow, that's not good. That's not good. Boy, oh boy, it seems like I'm getting nothing. Either that or it's asking for a capture. I don't understand that. I'm just trying to go to a website and it's asking me to type in some kind of capture bullshit in another language. Ay vey. Oh, geez, great. The one thing that opens up is the last thing I wanted to comment on. Of course. Oh, well. Oh, well. Maybe it has something to do with this live streaming software, which I think uses a heck of a lot of resources. Oh, well. Give me a second here. Yeah. Real life and all that. I often don't have time to go and research and, look up these websites in a way that I can essentially do so and then cut and paste the content and thereby be able to comment during the show, even if I can't open the site because, I don't have time. All right, so let's cover some of the stuff I didn't want to do. I'll have to make time after the show and cut and paste a bunch of stuff for next time's show. What are you going to do? All right, the Daily Caller. Bernie again? Oh, fucking A. Jeez, this fucking guy. For somebody who, he talks about income inequality, he's sure working a lot to make money, isn't he? Oh, but those who have wealth, the top 1%, the 1%, they have more money. It's not fair. You're in the top 1%, Bernie. You're all over the place. I wonder if people realize that this old dude, he gets appearance fees. I mean, you show up on CNN or NBC or ABC, it's not free. I mean, generally speaking, you get paid some money. And depending on what level of celebrity you are, but at minimum, it's a few $1,000s. I'm sure Bernie's getting more than that. So, he's out there working his butt off at his old age, and he's, socking money away in the bank account, but somehow the 1% that I'm a part of unfairly steal your money. Okay, Bernie. This is about CNN, and there's a picture of Bernie here. That bullshit town hall. I don't know why they call these town halls. They don't go to... It's so stupid. They just go to some random place. They poll a bunch of people, contact a bunch of people beforehand that have essentially the political views that they want, and then they invite them to come. So they really just stack an audience in a random location with a bunch of Democrats, with a bunch of socialist pinheads that agree with their politics. It's very rare that you're going to have somebody in that audience that is like a Fox News viewer or a conservative. And if somebody puts their hand up to ask a question, and by the way, they poll these people beforehand to see what kind of answers they'll give to these questions. So, they know whether or not they want to call on you. And if on some off chance somebody sneaks through, the process of vetting everybody in the audience and an actual conservative gets to ask a question. Next! Moving on, they'll edit that out, right? All right, so anyway, CNN sucks. CNN had its lowest primetime weekly ratings overall, and in the key age demographic last week, according to Nielsen Media Research, you're right, because, the whole Mueller thing was proved to be a complete and utter nothing burger. Total nothing burger. Well, Trump really didn't do anything wrong, but that's why we want the Mueller report unredacted, which is impossible because, they have to essentially protect the personal information of the hundreds, if not thousands, of people who were interviewed during this $30 million kerfuffle, this waste of time. But of course, they'll get to say, oh, look, all this redacted stuff, we don't know what's there. It could say that he's guilty. Dumbasses. They just want the report so they can nitpick over every little point and say that maybe it meant this, maybe it meant that. Let's interpret this the way we want to. And, all this redacted stuff, well, there's more information to come. He could still be guilty. Yeah. I think the majority of people watching CNN realize this is nonsense and that you can't trust them. So we're leaving CNN. We're going to go watch Fox News, which appears to be the case. I'm not a big fan of Fox News, by the way. Didn't they hire that black woman that fed Hillary Clinton questions during the 2016 campaign? That Democrat? What did they do that for? But anyway, so from April 8th to 12th, the network only averaged an audience of 690,000? YouTubers get more views than that on their videos, the big ones. And 180,000 in the key 25 to 54 age demographic. Really? Isn't that most people, 25 to 54? So, well, who are the other 510,000 that are not in the 25 to 54? Do you think the majority of their audience are a bunch of pinhead millennials or pinhead little kids in university? That must be the case. Either that or really old people. Their coverage last week included 3 presidential town halls with New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Presidential town halls, the election isn't for almost 2 years. What are they doing this stuff now for? Oh, good Lord. Kirsten Gillibrand, Washington Governor Jay Inslee. Yeah, imagine that. And former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro. How much you want to bet all these people are Democrats? Gillibrand's town hall only had 507,000 viewers. What? Jesus, that's not a lot. Compared to Inslee's 549,000 and Castro's 654. Comparatively last week, MSNBC's primetime lineup averaged 1.6 million viewers. Really? Seems high. With 249,000 in the key demo, Fox News managed to beat CNN and MSNBC combined with a total viewership of 2.4 million and 394,000 in the age range. The top networks for primetime viewership last week were led by Fox News, followed by MSNBC and the Home and Garden TV. There's a garden network? Really? You think it's like MTV, like there's nothing on there about gardening? I remember when MTV first came out. In fact, we were one of the first families to get cable. I remember. We were all so excited. And we had friends come over. It was like this big event, like a cable fucking party. And everybody wanted to come to our motherfucking house. We had MTV, and this was when MTV actually played music videos nonstop, so you could turn it on. And everybody wanted to come over and see Michael Jackson and Madonna. And what's that crazy Cyndi Lauper? The girls just want to have fun. She wasn't a bad singer, actually. Hit the wall hard, though. But yeah, I remember when we first got cable. Wow, that was great. Now they don't play anything that has to do with music, right? It's all a bunch of social justice warrior nonsense. Maybe that's the same deal going on with Home and Garden. Who's watching gardening? Old people. Okay, yeah, old people. USA Network and TBS Network to round out the top 5. You could die if you're an old person from gardening. I've heard stories about old people who were squatting down for hours and it caused blood clots, and then when they stood up, it went right to their brain and they stroked out. Yeah. Remember, old people, if you're going to garden, remember to move around a little bit and get up occasionally so you don't get blood clots that'll fucking stroke you out and kill you. CNN finished 15th. God, behind networks like Discovery Channel, Food Network, TLC, and A&E Network. Their ratings have continued to drop following the conclusion of the Mueller report. Yeah, they stretched that out for a long time, didn't they? Every day talking about Trump. Trump derangement syndrome out the motherfucking ass. Jesus. It appears like they might have a difficult time bouncing back after investing 2 years of heavy coverage on the investigation into the Trump campaign's alleged collusion with the Kremlin, which never existed. It was all based on that phony, faux Steele dossier that was completely 100% manufactured, and then they used that to get the Pfizer warrant. It was all based on a lie. That's good. I'm glad to hear that CNN could possibly be closing its doors, which won't happen, of course. That's a propaganda outlet. The global elites will just keep shoveling money into it to make up for their losses because they need it to propagandize people. So, moving on. Kim Foxx. For those of you who don't know who Kim Foxx is, she's the state's attorney in Illinois, and she was handling the Jussie Smollett case. And, she's corrupt. Buddies with the Obamas and, what was that, Kim? Michelle Chan or something. I don't remember the aide to Michelle Obama who went to her and convinced her to drop the case. This is the broad that said that she recused herself, but she didn't actually recuse herself. I'm recusing myself, but not really. I'm just going to tell you that, but I'm going to really manipulate things behind the scenes like a puppet master. And then I'm going to drop the charges. Well, how are you dropping the charges if you've recused yourself? I didn't really. Yeah, she was supposed to assign a special prosecutor. That's what you're supposed to do when you have this kind of conflict of interest. But, of course, she didn't do that because then she'd lose control of the case. And, she wouldn't be able to garner any yummy brownie points from the Obamas and other high-up, people that could probably will give her a good-paying job in the future in exchange for her help. So, Kim Foxx's office... lots and lots of people are fleeing, it seems. People fleeing Kim Foxx's office after the decision to drop charges against Smollett. 2 officials have resigned from their positions in the office of Cook County, Illinois State's Attorney Kim Foxx in the wake of her decision to drop charges against disgraced Empire actor Jussie Smollett. Smollett. Is he really disgraced? He's clearly disgraced among people that have half a brain, but is he really disgraced in Hollywood? I don't think so. I don't think these Hollywood people care. I think they're just upset that he got caught. That's all. These are the kind of people where the ends justify the means, essentially. Trump is evil, so whatever underhanded tactics we have to resort to get him out of there, they are justified. Yeah, okay. So April Perry, Fox's chief ethics officer. This is so funny. So the office that Kim Foxx works in didn't even have an ethics officer. She made a point of hiring one. And then what did she do? She breaks all her own rules, goes through all this unethical behavior, which her own ethics officer points out and then resigns over. This is great. I'm going to hire an ethics officer even though I'm a highly unethical person, both in my private and public life, but especially in my work life. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? That's like being a murderer and then, hiring a cop to follow you around. I'm going to have the cop follow me so he can catch me in the act. Yeah. And Covington Integrity Director Mark Rotert have both tendered their resignations and will serve their last days on the job in May. Perry wrote in an April 15th letter obtained by Fox News, while I feel lucky to have been able to spend the last 15 years of my career in public service, I'm looking forward to my next endeavor in the private sector, where I have the opportunity to continue to work toward increasing the safety of our community. Okay, yeah. Perry, Cook County's first ethics officer, initially encouraged Fox to recuse herself from the case. I can't recuse myself. I need to do favors for higher ups so I can get an even better job in the future because, I lack merit. I have no merit. Yeah, okay. After learning that she had spoken about the case to members of the actor's family. Yeah, because she had that Chen broad that is the chief of staff for Michelle Obama contacting her, telling her, could you let this case go? Could you get it given to the FBI? Because, the FBI are all a bunch of Democratic cons that essentially are owned by the Clintons and the Obamas, part of the deep state. So could you get it shunted off, right, to the FBI? so we can make it disappear. And in exchange, we got some nice goodies for you in the future. Fox's office released a statement announcing that she had recused herself, but the office was forced to clarify that she had recused herself only in the colloquial sense. What does that mean? Wait, what? What does that mean? I don't understand that. What does that mean, only in the colloquial sense? Okay, so, these people don't understand how reality works, right? You either recuse yourself or you don't. There is no colloquial sense. That's like saying, well, I said I quit my job and I tendered my resignation, but only in the colloquial sense. You still have to keep paying me. What the fuck you talking about? Colloquial sense. That doesn't make any sense. It's a binary situation. You can't be half in, half out, colloquial, whatever the fuck you talking about. You either recused yourself, bitch, or you did not. I forgot to open the Skype. Okay. Yeah, she recused herself colloquially. It's so crazy. Yeah. And I quit my job in the colloquial sense. Yeah, I still expect them to pay me a salary. Okay, sweetheart. After it was reported that she had continued to involve herself in the case. Colloquial. Give me a break. That doesn't apply to this situation. Colloquial. Rotert reportedly cited upcoming international travel as the reason for his departure from the office. Yeah, no. He wants to get out of there because it's going to be a fucking shitstorm. He doesn't want to get caught up in it. Listen to this. This is great. This is fucking great. I hate this Jussie Smollett guy. I really hate him. I don't usually have outright hate for people, but this fucking guy, he's got some balls. I'll give him that. Jussie Smollett's brother claims that the actor is having nightmares over the alleged attack. What do you think about this Jussie Smollett thing, huh? I keep saying Jesse's Juicy. Juicy? Is that how you pronounce his name? It's J-U, so should it be Juicy or Jussie? Well, anyway, so if you'd like to contact the show, the Skype is The Realist Philosopher. That is The Realist Philosopher. You must have Skype to call into the show. All right, Juicy. What a weird name. Parents must be hippies. I always imagine parents who give these kids these weird names are some kind of weirdo hippies. Jussie Smollett is reportedly experiencing night terrors over the alleged attack that occurred earlier this year. Bullshit. Allegedly. Says who? Says him? Yeah, he's a proven liar. He's a proven liar. The Empire actor's brother wrote an op-ed. Is his brother a writer? No. Why is his brother writing op-eds for publications? Titled, What If Jussie is Telling the Truth? You're his brother, okay? You're biased, okay? He's not telling the truth. Wait. Telling the truth? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your fucking mind? Do you know what happened here, Pinhead? This guy's wearing some fucking blinders. He actually believes his brother. What an idiot. I have to believe him. He's my brother, and he's gay. No gay brother would lie. Okay. Come on. He said he was attacked by two guys that were white. All right. Then later on, he identified the Nigerian brothers, who weren't Nigerian, they're Americans that just happened to have parents that were from Nigeria, but they were born in America. But anyway, the media went on and on about him being Nigerian. Anyway, yeah, because we don't want to identify them as American blacks, because we don't want to cast some kind of negative picture of American black people, because American black people would never have a hate hoax. They would never fake something like this. Oh, no. Wait, isn't Jussie black and an American? Okay, so he identified them. The police showed him pictures from video cameras. Are these the guys that attacked you? He identified them by their dress and their size and the area they were in. He said, I'm certain them are the guys, officers. Those are the guys. Well, they're two black guys, and they're your friends, and they're your personal trainers. But I said they were white. Yeah, you're fucked. But wait, maybe they was wearing whiteface, says his lawyer. By the way, has anybody seen whiteface? It's not like, you know, you can look at me and say I'm a white guy, but am I like, you know, KKK white, wearing a sheet white? Am I like, Casper the fucking ghost white? No! Right. Whiteface doesn't look white. I mean, you can't have a face on that is like, you know, the color of my skin. If you wear whiteface, it's like a mime, right? What is he going to see the skin around the eyes? And it's like, what are these guys, fucking albinos? White people don't look like albinos. So saying they wore whiteface is kind of like saying there were two mimes that attacked me and they were wearing white makeup. It's so stupid. Yo, but you believe this. You believe this. It turns out that this hoax was perpetrated by two friends of his. One of them possibly a butt buddy of his. We don't know for sure, but we've heard rumors that one of the brothers was, a butt buddy of his, where Jesse Smollett was smelling his bunghole on a regular basis. And, for some unknown reason, they just got it into their heads at 2 o'clock in the morning to wait for him in the cold outside of his apartment. And they just knew, somehow they knew he was going to come out, that he had a hankering for a Subway sub. Yeah, they just knew. They were just waiting out there with bleach and MAGA hats and ski masks on. And that doesn't look suspicious. Two dudes waiting out there for hours in the cold for Juicy. No, that's not suspicious at all in Chicago. Two ski mask covered dudes. Yeah, that's not suspicious. Oh, no. Ooh, I'm supposed to believe that these two... And by the way, he paid them $3,500 check, which he says was for personal training. Come on. Personal training ain't that expensive, okay? If you look at Juicy, he ain't all that buff, all right? So spare me all this crap about him being personally trained. Nah, the only personal training he was getting from these guys was beneath the fucking sheets, all right? That's the only exercise he was getting with them. Oh, my God. Oh, man, he's telling the truth. Yeah. The brother ain't too smart. Listen to the brother's name. JoJo Smollett. JoJo. J-O-J-O. So one brother is named Juicy. The other is named JoJo, which sounds a lot like Bobo, the fucking clown. That's apropos. So JoJo Smollett defends his brother's story. He's a retard. He's a retard. And claims that he was violently awakening from night terrors following the assault. Are you in his room with him? Are you two involved in incest? Are you sleeping together? Do you know firsthand that he's waking up from night terrors? Or is this just something he has told you and you're dumb enough to believe him because you want to believe him? Juicy alleged in January that two men sporting "Make America Great Again" hats attacked him and yelled racist and homophobic slurs at the actor who is gay. Within less than 3 months, his life has been turned upside down. You mean he turned his own life upside down by lying? We have him on video. We have these two Olsendero brothers, the Nigerians who are not Nigerians, buying the rope, buying the hats, buying the bleach. They're dumb enough to buy a lot of this stuff in the same place. Real brilliant criminals. We have the fucking check from him. We have text messages. We don't know all the evidence because this guy managed through his connections to get the court records sealed. But hopefully, what with the city of Chicago suing him, hopefully those records will be unsealed and we'll get to see all the evidence. He's not innocent. There's text messages between him and the two Olsendero brothers, the Nigerian, not Nigerian brothers, who were waiting outside for him at 2 a.m. And he's telling them where to meet. He's telling them where to go, where to wait, what time to show up. He's telling them, I'm going to be late. Okay, we can't do it until 2 a.m. Can you be out there at 2 a.m.? It actually has him communicating with them. They have pings from the cell towers. He was here. They were there. They were in the same area as was caught on video. These are the exact guys that attacked him. But somehow we're supposed to believe that this was not set up. This fucking guy. Wow. His brother must be a subpar IQ. Along with Juicy. Not too smart. Juicy, oh, within less than 3 minutes, his life's been turned upside down. Boo, diddity fucking who. Yeah. I have witnessed him endure unrelenting attacks to his character and reputation. Good, JoJo. JoJo. It's like a monkey's name, isn't it? It makes me think of fucking Coco. Coco, the sign language monkey that loved Robin Williams. To define this experience as unjust would be an understatement. Oh, spare me. Spare me! You know he's guilty. You know deep down your brother did it. Weeks after the alleged incident occurred, Smollett was arrested for allegedly... What do we need the allegedly? Come on. We don't even need the allegedly. He did it. They kept his money. They kept the 10 grand. And they're trying to get him to pay the other 130 grand, okay? What, do you think they're doing that because he's innocent? You think they have no evidence? Come on. Yeah. But Smollett has stood by his story. Of course he has. Of course he has. Because, you see, he thinks he's covered. You see, he thinks that the court records will stay sealed. He thinks they'll stay sealed so nobody will ever be able to see all the evidence the state had against him. And so, because of that, he can continue to plead his innocence. And nobody can challenge it because the records are sealed. So the cops can't discuss the evidence that they remember, that they know about, because that evidence has been sealed. Man, this guy's got some fucking connections. He's got some connections. If he can get 16 felony counts set aside in addition to getting the court record sealed, and he did 16 hours of community service. Oh, that's lovely. Wow. That's not even a slap on the wrist, man. That's nothing. Hey, he had plenty of free time anyway. He's not working anymore. Went and fucking bounced some basketballs with some orphans. Whoop-de-fucking-do. JoJo also... We can't ignore the desire among the far right. Oh, it's far right, is it? Oh, there's a conspiracy to get Juicy because he's gay. I see. We can't ignore the desire among the far right to criminalize whole sectors of the country. Yeah. Here we go. Nice little straw man there. No. Jesse's not getting caught up in some kind of far right fucking agenda to criminalize whole sectors. The only people doing that are fucking leftists against white people, which they either refuse to accept or feel are natural political opponents. I don't know what you're talking about now. JoJo, Coco, Bobo, the fucking clown. JoJo also thanked his brother's fans. What fans? He's a nobody. I never heard of your brother before this. And that Empire show sounds like a real piece of crap. I would never watch it. Who have continued to stand by the embattled actor. Stupid people. Yeah, a lot of people stood by fucking OJ too, and everybody knew he was guilty. Except they didn't have as much evidence against OJ as they do against your brother. Let me be clear, says JoJo. It is undeniable that many people on social media support my brother. Who cares? What is that? Who, so? A lot of people support him, so he's innocent? I don't understand your argument. The love he receives from his village, fans, and fellow activists is... Activists? Oh, I thought he was an actor. Now he's an activist. So now we know even more, with more surety that he's guilty. Because activists, especially on the left, they will do any and everything to push their agenda. They will lie, they will cheat, they will steal. You remember seeing all those videos of those wacky leftists going up and grabbing fucking Trump signs out of people's yards, stealing signs, stealing people's flags? These people will break the law if it serves their agenda. His gratitude is unwavering. Yeah. Now you see why I hate this fucking guy. Wow, he's got some dumb family. They actually believe this fucking guy. Unbelievable. Wow, what is this? Okay, I gotta move on. I don't want to talk about Juicy anymore. It just gets on my nerves. Gets on my fucking nerves. Bernie Sanders. Yes, I will raise taxes on everybody. Oh, well, we know that. We know that, Bernie. Charlize Theron. Oh, my God. Oh, she's still at it. Okay, this is interesting. So, you all have heard about that story where Charlize Theron, or Theron, or however the hell you pronounce her name, is essentially annoyed that she can't find a man. This might have something to do with it. Charlize Theron reportedly reveals her daughter, 7, is transgender. Isn't so? Just so you know, this article, which is from the NBC News, it's a lie. It's not her daughter; it's her son. So it should say reveals her son 7 is transgender. But of course, we're social justice warrior cunts. And we're going to follow the PC narrative, and we're going to use the language that Charlize wants us to use and mislead the public by labeling this boy a girl. Because, if you feel like a girl, you're a girl, right? Wrong. So, Academy Award winner Charlize Theron. What did she win an Academy Award for anyway? I don't remember. Probably some crappy chick flick. Reportedly shared that her oldest child is transgender. They said child. They didn't give a gender. Her oldest son. No, I don't like men. Do you notice how this only skews one way? Like for 100 transgender people, you might find one that is a woman that wants to transition to a man, and then the other 99 are men wanting to be women. Isn't that a little off? Isn't that a little unequal? You would think the feminists would be frigging out, too, by the way. Some of them are, right? Especially some of the older feminists, because, they're afraid of losing their privilege. Women can't be men! I've seen a bunch of these old, ugly, hagged-out, 70, 80-year-old feminists on news shows recently talking about how they do not agree with the transgender movement. Yeah, sure, because of men becoming women, you lose your privilege, ladies. Her daughter, Jackson, her son... Listen to this language. This is great. So her daughter, Jackson 7, was assigned male at birth. So genders, your biological sex is just assigned to you. So you telling me when I popped out there was nothing down below, like a penis? The doctor just, was feeling in the mood to assign me a penis? Okay, what are we going to make this guy? We're going to make him a girl? Oh, there's no him, right. What are we going to make this thing, This sexless thing. We're going to give it a penis or a vagina? Huh? I'm feeling like a penis today. Maybe we should consult the mother. Hey, Mom, do you want a boy or a girl? I want a boy! Okay, we'll give him a penis. We'll assign him a penis. You want a good-sized penis, small penis, micro penis, gigantic penis? I want him to have a big cock. Okay, let's find a big cock. All right, let's assign him a big cock. What? There's no assigning going on, you idiots. You know who assigned it? If you believe in a God, chance, chromosomes, genes. This is so stupid. Theron said, according to an interview published Thursday in the Daily Mail, you wonder why you can't find a man. Because any man out there that might want to date you read this and they go like, she's out of her fucking mind. I don't want to date this broad. She's 43. There's no way I'll be able to have kids with her because, she's 43. She's got really short fucking hair. She's got what looks like fucking 12 earrings in her left ear. Another good sign you're dealing with a rabid feminist. In addition to the short hair and the fact that she's 43 and good looking, but alone and a single mother. Fucking alarm bells are ringing, right? I'm hearing that a warning bell, like if there's going to be a nuclear attack. Jesus Christ. I thought she was a boy too. Maybe that's why your boy. I thought she was a boy. So you want him to be a her. Oh, this is crazy. Crazy. The language is so odd. Assigned male at birth. I thought she was a boy too, Theron, 43, reportedly said in the interview, until she looked at me at 3 years old and said, I'm not a boy. It's not a she, it's a he, you idiot. Oh, this really annoys me. The actress has 2 children, Jackson and August. 4. Jackson. August. Isn't Jackson a boy's name? It's a boy. NBC News was unable to confirm the veracity of the Daily Mail article. Theron has a legacy of LGBTQ activism. You think she's bi? Maybe she's gay. Maybe she's in the closet, particularly when it comes to advocating for marriage equality. What does that mean? You do know the definition of marriage is a man and a woman. I don't know what this bullshit is with men and women and women getting together and all that shit and having some kind of ceremony. That's not marriage, okay? That's like saying, I want a square to be equal to a circle. But a square is a square and a circle is a circle. You can't make a square a circle. They're separate things. I want to make a fucking square a circle. I want to identify squares as circles and triangles as circles too. Okay, but they're not. Okay, Charlize. Oy vey. So in 2009, she announced on The View. Wow, that show's been a long fucking time. A fat, old, ugly broad sitting around bitching and moaning about Trump. Good God. What were they bitching and moaning about back in 2009? Probably Bush. Oh, no, wait. That would be Obama. 2009, 2008, yeah, okay. Obama. Anyway, was this show on when Bush was president, too? Seems like this show's been on a long fucking time. Ugh. So she announced on The View that she would not marry her then boyfriend, Stuart Townsend, until everyone had the right to marry in the United States. She could have got married. I love it. I love it. So she's bitching and moaning now about being single, but she had a chance to get married, but she didn't get married to make a statement, right? Meanwhile, this guy she's dating is like, other people are more important to you than I am. We've been together for years and years and years, and you don't want to marry me because you want to make some kind of bullshit social justice warrior point? What the fuck? I guess he got tired of waiting and got the fuck out of there. Probably that and the fact that she probably paid almost zero attention to their relationship because she's more concerned about LGBTQ rights than she is about the man she's with. I think it would be exactly the same if we were married, but for me to go through that kind of ceremony because I have so many friends who are gays and lesbians who would so badly want to get married, why? That I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself. Weird wording. So what? Theron is also known for playing a bisexual spy in Atomic Blonde. I didn't see that movie, but I heard it was crap. When Andy Cohen asked her about playing a queer character on his show, Watch What Happens Live, I've never heard of it, Theron responded that it shouldn't even be a question. I can't ask you what it's like to play a queer character. Why is that? I mean, I'm not gay, so maybe I'd like to know what it feels like to pretend to be gay, all right? It's just so strange when we talk so much about it, but that's all you do is talk about this shit. In addition to that, you talk about white privilege and feminism. By your logic, we shouldn't talk about any of that stuff, but that's all you talk about. It should be normalized by now. No, it shouldn't. See, this is the agenda, of course, to normalize the abnormal, the deviant. It's something I feel is not represented enough in cinema. Well, 99% of people are not gay, so yeah, movies are made for the majority, not the minority. I don't want to go to see some movie where guys are getting it on and fucking kissing and shit. What was that movie, Brokeback Mountain? Oh my God. I didn't see that, by the way, but I heard it was really disgusting. I don't want to see two dudes out on the prairie on some fucking horse blanket they laid out banging each other. That's not my cup of tea, okay? It's not most people's cup of tea, by the way. Yeah, movies exist to make money, by the way. Imagine that. They serve the interests of the people watching. If you're not interested in seeing two guys get it on, it probably won't make any money. But we should normalize that and represent it in cinema more, even though that's not represented in the general population. Oh, I see. She's a moron. Many are positively responding to Theron's reported announcement in the Daily Mail. Yeah, many fucking morons. Jamie Clayton, the transgender actress best known for starring as Nomi Marks in the Netflix series Sense8, wrote on Twitter, "Sending you so much love. Thank you." Oh, God. Helen Weberly, a gender specialist at Gender GP. Gender specialist? What does that mean? Oh, it's just somebody trained in this PC gobbledygook, word salad, double speak nonsense talk. All right? An online transgender medical clinic wrote, "What a lucky little girl." Gender specialist, an online transgender medical clinic. What a lucky little girl. It's a boy! You know what really annoys me about this stuff? It's just so contrary. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no logical sense, whatever. Let me explain something to you here, okay? So this idea that you can choose your gender. It runs along idealistic lines and veers into solipsism, this belief that we create reality from our own subjective views and opinions and project those onto the world. Essentially, we create the world we exist within. Reality is relative. The mind is primary and reality is secondary. And there's really no objective reality, okay? Everything is subjective. So this idea is that you can be whatever you identify, right? You identify as a male, you can be a male. You can identify as female, you can be a female. Somehow, though, you can't identify as being 150 if you're 20. I don't know how that works. You can identify as being something that you ain't, but you can't identify as being something you ain't. Oh, boy, these people are so stupid. Meanwhile, these people are advocating that their kids use objective reality, which they claim shouldn't exist and doesn't exist, and everything is open to interpretation, everything's relative, and everything is essentially perception is reality and all that bullshit. Yet, they are advocating for using drugs on young children to transition and change their biology. Wait a second. If everything is subjective, and there's no objective reality, there's no objective truth, such as if you're born a male, you're a male. You are what you are. That's an objective truth, an objective fact. And no, reality is created by the mind, not objective reality creates the mind and informs the mind. Then how in the world can you advocate for using objective reality, something outside of the mind, outside of the subjective experience of reality? How can you advocate something that is pretty objective, that changes the world and it exists outside of the mind, to alter your own biology and physiology and change yourself objectively? Wait, what? If reality is perception, perception is reality, if I identify as something, that's what I am, then what do you need to take all these drugs for? Why do you need the drugs? Well, I want to be what I feel like I am. What do you mean be? First you say that you identify as something. If you identify as something, then you are that something because you identify as that something. So why do you need drugs to become that something? That means you're not that something. Do you get it? Do you see the contradiction here? Do you see the flaws in the logic? It doesn't work. I feel like a man because I'm a man. Now if I said I feel like a Wayman, then that should be enough. Then I feel like a Wayman, I am a Wayman. So I'm going to take some drugs so I become more like a Wayman. But you're saying you feel like a Wayman, that makes you a Wayman, so you're already a Wayman. Why would you need to take drugs to become a Wayman? It doesn't make any sense. But of course these people don't see that. They don't see the contradictions, the flaws in their logic. Or the fact that you cannot possibly be a woman if you're a man. Okay? Because the objective truth is you're having to apply aspects of objective reality outside of your mind, outside of your perceptions to change who and what you are. Meaning that your perception and your subjective feeling about who and what you are isn't changing anything, isn't altering anything, isn't making you into something you are not. The fact that you need drugs and that you're needing to take aspects of objective reality that, you claim doesn't exist, which would have to be the case if you can claim that I identify as something, therefore I am that something. Well, you're now saying that, no, that's not the case. I need to take all these fucking drugs to become that something. So self-identifying as something isn't what makes you that something else. It's objective reality, it's truth, it's biology, it's biological facts, physiology, because those are the things you're actually having to change to become what you say you already are based on your feelings. It makes no sense. Anyway, oh my God. So this is why Charlize Theron is single, right? Who wants to deal with this? Single, and by the way, none of these kids are hers. She has no kids of her own. She's 43 years old. She was in some relationship with 10 years with the same guy, but never married him. And I think she adopted these kids after she broke up with him. So, in a relationship, 10 years, never had any kids, never married the guy. He dumped her ass. Then she got involved with Sean Penn, bad boy, older guy. That didn't work out either. Maybe had a romantic tryst with fucking Brad Pitt at one point. That didn't work out either. Just some banging, boffing. He was just her booty call. And now she's got these 2 kids that aren't her own because I guess she didn't want to ruin her body. Yeah, I could have my own kids, but I'd stretch out my bone and I'd get a big, saggy saddlebag belly. And even if I had surgery to remove it, there'd be a scar. I don't want to ruin my wonderful, lovely career. Meanwhile, I've adopted this boy. Why'd she adopt a boy, by the way, if she wants a girl? I guarantee you that this kid is not suddenly saying one day, without any input from her, Mommy, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. Where would he get this idea? Where would he get this idea? He gets it from her, obviously. So dumb. So fucking dumb. Oh, my God. I don't think people realize just how impressionable kids are and how much they want to please their parents. I mean, you got Charlize running around all day talking about LGBTQ bullshit around her kid who is now 7 years old. And he sees how much she loves transgender people and hates cisgender people and talks about all this oppression and all that. And he also sees all the advantages to being a Wayman. And now he's hearing from Mommy, I could be a Wayman too and get all these wonderful, wonderful goodies. And Mommy will love me more because she spends most of her time shilling for these LGBTQ causes and ignoring me. So maybe if I become a girl, she'll pay some attention to me. A big surprise this kid would want to become a Wayman. Yeah. Ridiculous. This is so stupid. This is child abuse, by the way. This is child abuse. Absolutely fucking child abuse. Makes me so angry. So what do you think? You think this is child abuse? You think it's evil? You think Charlize Theron's out of her fucking mind? You think the fact that she believes dogs can be cats, cats can be dogs, and men can be Waymen, and Waymen can be men has something to do with why she's single? If so, contact me at The Realist Philosopher on Skype. That's The Realist Philosopher. All right, let's move on, shall we? Charlize Theron. Talk about living in a fucking bubble of your own creation. She doesn't know why she's single. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right. Next. Oh, this is good. This is good. Right up my alley. Young men are giving up on marriage, saying women aren't women anymore. Says it all. Fewer young men in the U.S. want to get married than ever. While the desire for marriage is rising among young women, well, yeah, they got so many privileges. They especially want the privilege of being married, They go to all these positive benefits and rights and privileges without having to earn those. And yeah, being married, it's a good deal for a woman. Of course they want to get married. It's not a good deal for men, though. I wonder if those of you out there realize that the marriage rate in America has actually dropped since 1970, even though our population has almost doubled. It hasn't kept pace with the population increase. It's stayed static, and it's actually dropped. So less people are getting married now than were in 1970, when we had almost half the population in America we do now. What happened in 1970 that correlates time-wise with this drop-off in marriage? Oh, radical feminism. Oh, okay. I wonder if there's a correlation between the two. Yeah. So Pew Research found that the number of women 18 to 34 saying that having a successful marriage is one of the most important things rose from 28% to 37% since 1997. Yeah, you know what happened, right? These broads, essentially from 1997 up until now, yeah, they were single. They were alone. They popped out single kids. They popped out kids as single women, and these kids became disillusioned. And thereby they want to get married so as to correct the mistakes of the parent, right? And they saw what a crappy, crappy life it is to be a single parent themselves. I'm not going to inflict that on my kids. Now I want to get married. Yeah, so the feminists fucked up. They embraced feminism wholeheartedly in the 80s and 90s. And they created a bunch of disillusioned young girls who realized, yeah, it's a good idea to be married. But unfortunately, these young women who are now growing up, products of broken homes and single mothers, they still believe in feminism. I want to be married, but I still want to be a feminist cunt. Yeah, those two things are mutually exclusive, okay? The number of young adult men saying the same thing dropped from 35% to 29% in the same time. Well, yeah. Oh, boy. Pew's findings have caught the attention of one U.S. writer who maintains that feminism, deeply entrenched in every segment of the culture. Yeah, they get something like $2 billion just in public funds alone every year, various feminist organizations. How much do men's organizations get? Oreo, zero. They say that feminism has created an environment in which young men find it more beneficial to simply opt out of coupledom entirely. Well, yeah, sure. The only benefits are for women. If there's no benefits for you, why would you do it? Men are very good at weighing cost-benefit analyses, and looking at things objectively, reasonably. At least they used to be. They're less so now, which is partly why men are still getting married, because there's a lot of soy boy morons out there who have been raised by single mommies, and they haven't learned how to think critically, reasonably, logically very well. So, too much soy, too much BPA in their food, lowering their testosterone, and they're too emotional, right? The emotion, they make the decisions based on emotion instead of thinking, which is what the global elites want. Get married to the weaponized female who then cleans your fucking clock and divorces your ass. Pew's findings that it's created an environment that's not beneficial. Yeah. Suzanne Venker's article, The War on Men, which appeared on the website of Fox News in late November, has become a lodestone for feminist writers who have attacked her position that the institution of marriage is threatened, not enhanced, by the supposed gains of the feminist movement over the past 50 years. Okay, so, look, feminism doesn't help marriage. A movement that teaches women that men are evil, men are oppressive, and that marriage is oppressive, and that if you do get married, you need to maintain your autonomy as a single individual and act as if you don't need no man, even while you're saying you need a man by the very act of getting married. That's not very conducive to a long-lasting, stable relationship. Makes sense to me. But apparently feminists have a problem with that, of course. Yeah, they want men to be stupid and continue to marry them, right? Yeah, let's enter into a deal with no benefits. I have a job for you. Would you like the job? Yeah, how much does it pay? It pays nothing. In fact, you have to pay us to work for us. What? Yeah, come work for us. You pay us, and you'll work for us. Well, that kind of is a sucky deal. There's no benefits, and in fact, there's a lot of negatives. Yeah, but you should do it anyway, because it's good for you. It's good for you. How? We don't know, but we're feminists. We have to tell you that because we want you to marry our asses and give us all your fucking money, and in return, you get jack shit. I wouldn't enter into that deal. But because it's marriage, I should overlook all of the negatives and the lack of benefits? No. No, you had to be a retard to do that. So, where have all the good, meaning marriageable men gone? Question mark. Is a question much talked about lately in the secular media. Venker says, but her answer, backed up by statistics, is not to the liking of mainstream commentators influenced by feminism. Yeah, a lot of cognitive dissonance going on, and most of them are women, most of these mainstream commentators, so they drunk the Kool-Aid long ago, right? They're perfectly fine with sucking down the cyanide-laced Kool-Aid when the Hale-Bopp comet flies overhead. The spaceship is going to suck our souls up when we die. They bought into it. They're living in Jonestown, sucking down the fucking Kool-Aid, thinking they're going to go to paradise. Yeah. Okay. So Venker points out that for the first time in U.S. history, the number of women in the workforce has surpassed the number of men. That's right. There's more women working than men, but supposedly they're oppressed. While more women than men are acquiring university degrees. Yeah, something like 70% now as opposed to 30% men. The problem, this new phenomenon has changed the dance between men and women, Venker wrote, with feminism pushing them out of their traditional role of breadwinner, protector, and provider, and divorce laws increasingly creating a dangerous, precarious financial prospect for the men cut loose from marriage. Men are simply no longer finding any benefit in it. Yeah. I couldn't say it better. As a writer and researcher into the trends of marriage and relationships, Venker said she has accidentally stumbled upon a subculture of men who say, in no uncertain terms, they're never getting married. I'm one of them, by the way. I would never get married. When I ask them why, the answer is always the same. Women aren't women anymore. Feminism, which teaches women to think of men as the enemy, has made women angry and defensive, though often unknowingly, and for no reason, by the way. You know, they're just taught this bullshit narrative that men have done all these evil things to women, but they don't do any research into actual history to see that, no, that's not true. I mean, in America, what did men have to vote for, like 50, 55 years or something before women? All men? And men had their own suffrage movement throughout the entire world. They had to fight to get the vote too. I mean, what about male suffrage, which in most Western countries didn't happen that long before females got the vote as well, okay? And throughout human history, both men and women have suffered and been oppressed, but not by each other in most cases, but by the fucking real world. It's only now that we're living in this nice, wonderful, decadent culture that people could buy into this bullshit. That, and they're not being taught real history, of course. Now the men have nowhere to go. It is precisely this dynamic, the dynamic of women good, men bad, that has destroyed the relationship between the sexes. Yet somehow men are still to blame when love goes awry. Yeah, right. It's always the man's fault, right? Men are tired, Venker wrote, tired of being told there's something fundamentally wrong with them, tired of being told that if women aren't happy, it's men's fault. Which also is saying that it's a man's job to make a woman happy. Don't you love that entitlement? Could you imagine if a man said, happy husband, happy life? The feminist would flip out. What do you think? It's our job to be there just to make you happy and serve you, you entitled bastard. But when somebody says happy wife, happy life, nobody bats an eye. Why is that? Yeah. Yeah, women are not really women anymore. This is something I've noticed as well. So feminism and the sexual revolution have simply made marriage obsolete for women as a social and economic refuge. Well, that has a lot to do also with the government transferring resources in the form of taxes from men to women so they can be single mothers and not have a man. They would need one if they didn't have the government filling in for them, and then they might actually have to work to make a relationship work. They might actually have to put some effort in to finding the right partner and then putting effort into that relationship if they didn't have the state to fall back on. But they do. But this is a situation that should not be celebrated by feminists, Venker says. It's the women who lose, yeah. Ladies, men are in many cases able to be alone. We are the lone wolf. We can handle solitude much better than you, which is why you end up with these, homes full of cats that smell like piss and shit. You can have all the litter boxes you wanted to try and, separate the smell. I don't just want to have one litter box, because if I have one litter box, that's too much shit and piss in one place. I'm going to spread it out all over the house. Yeah, that'll make it less noticeable. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here, I got no dogs, no cats, I'm perfectly fucking happy. Without some woman yammering in my fucking ear. Give me a break. Yes, it's the women who lose. Not only are they saddled with the consequences of sex, by dismissing male nature, they're forever seeking a balanced life. They're forever seeking a balanced life that they can't have because they've essentially said, I don't need no man. I need a man like a fish needs a bicycle. The fact is, women need men's linear career goals. They need men to pick up the slack at the office in order to live the balanced life they seek. Well, it's more important to these women that they shuffle papers around and not think for themselves, right? Yeah. I want life to be as easy as possible. I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to have to put any work into a relationship. And I've been told that it's a more fulfilling life to hop from cock to cock to cock from the age of 18 to 35. That'll fulfill me, not kids and grandkids and a loving husband that'll always be there to support me into my old age. Oh, no. That's evil and oppressive. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. A cross-section of research data from the Pew Research Center for the last months of 2012 shows the alarming trends for marriage and childbearing in the U.S. One report published in mid-December said that the latest census data showed barely half of all adults in the United States are currently married, a record low. I want it to be zero. I want it to be zero. I mean, look, these ladies are entitled, they're privileged. The fact that men keep marrying them is allowing them to continue with this entitled behavior and get away with this shit. No, we need to impose ever more consequences on these ladies so that they eventually are forced to change. You guys out there, you simps, you mangina wimps, you need to stop marrying women. They're not women anymore. They've become waymen, which ain't a woman, okay? They want to be men. Do you want to be with a man? No. Oh, boy. Since 1960, the number of married adults has decreased from 72% to 51%. See, I told you it's dropped off. Even though the population's nearly doubled. Ah, fucking A. Moreover, the median age at first marriage continues to rise, with women getting married the first time at 26.5 years old and men at 28.7. This decline in marriage are most dramatic among young adults. Just 20% of those aged 18 to 29 are married, compared with 59% in 1960. Good. Good. If the current trends continue, the share of adults who are currently married will drop to below half within a few years. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Look, feminism has too much power. And the only reason it has power is because men continue to get with women, stay with women who are objectionable cunts, pay their bills, take care of them, and essentially enable this behavior. If you take away the enabling, the behavior will correct itself, okay? By imposing actual consequences on these very negative actions. So, less men marrying is a good thing. The course of society will eventually self-correct, and feminism will go the way of the dodo. Moreover, and we're already seeing it with this drop in marriage, which is humongous. Moreover, the link between marriage and childbearing has become disconnected. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. So, yeah, that's good. And I think this is good news. Of course, this person thinks it's bad news. And feminists, of course, are quite happy with this news, even though they don't seem to understand that with this current trend continuing, within the next 15 to 20 years, so few men will be getting married, it's going to be very hard for them to continue to enjoy their lives. They're just going to get more and more miserable. Just like we saw from 97 to now, the number of women wanting to be married has increased because feminism, it's lost its allure. That trend is going to continue. And more women are going to wake up and realize, oh, feminism is the problem. Women still haven't woken up to that fact yet. Most women, it's very funny because, they don't want to identify as feminists. Something like 7% of American women will identify as feminists, but 90+% of them are actually feminists. They believe in equality between the sexes. Wholeheartedly. Well, that's feminism. They're all feminists, but they don't want to call themselves feminists because they know feminism gets a bad rap and that men really don't like feminists. But they still continue to believe that feminism is good. You see, that has to change. That has to change. They need to wake up to the fact that men and women are not equal. A circle can't be a square, and a square can't be a circle. And by the way, equality under the law, equal representation. Ladies, you don't commit the same amount of resources, work, and risk to society. You're not required to sign up for the draft, okay? Even if you did, even if you had equal representation in all the dangerous jobs, and even in the military, you still wouldn't be contributing as much as men because you're not able to do as much. It's like if you were 50% of the workers on a construction site, fuck me, talk about productivity dropping off. Because, you're half as strong as a man, plus you don't have the stamina and endurance that he has. So, you wouldn't be able to do the same work. But you would expect to get paid the same amount, and you would expect to get the same privileges. Even if you get the equal representation you want, you're not going to be earning that equal representation in the form of law, in the form of rights and privileges, which you get right now, but you don't earn. And by the way, you'll never be able to earn them. Okay? You'll never be able to earn them on par with a man. That's the real problem. You continue to buy into this myth, this lie, that you can be equal to a man and you cannot. And until you do away with that belief, you are going to continue to be miserable. And this number of 37% of women now that want to get married, it's going to jump. But in another 10 years, it's going to be 57% as women become ever less happy, alone. Yes, they're going to be finding out in ever greater numbers that their career just isn't cutting it. But they'll still continue to cling to feminism. Why? They like the privileges. They like the privileges. They like the free shit. They like the fact that they're almost guaranteed to get into a university. They like the fact that if they apply for the same job as a man, they're twice as likely to get it. They like the fact that they don't have to work as hard as a man, but they're still going to be able to cry, wage gap, and get the same pay, even though they do half as much work. There's just too many privileges. Of course, they're not going to give them up. They're not going to give them up, even though they're unhappy. That's why even today, 1997 to now, an almost 10% increase in the number of women that say it's one of the most important things to them to get married. And yet, they still cling to feminism. Like a dying man clings to one of them little fucking donuts in the middle of the ocean. I'm going to drown. I'm clinging to that motherfucker. That's women with feminism. They just don't want to admit to themselves that this is bad for them. And the person that wrote this is right. It's the worst for women. We don't care. Ladies, fine. We got whores. We got porn. We got sex dolls. By the way, that's one of the reasons that these women want to get rid of sex dolls, right? They want to limit men's options to make men have to get with them. Yeah, we don't want to get with you ladies. And by the way, I find it funny. They want to get rid of these sex dolls and all that. I don't own one, by the way. I don't think I ever would. But I have no problem with guys who want to. Anything that keeps you away from these nasty, evil, hateful broads, I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm not one to judge. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, do whatever you want. I don't care. We have lots of options, ladies, okay? You don't have so many options, all right? But this is good. This is good. Hopefully this trend continues, and it's looking like it will. Maybe in another 20 years, women will start to wake up, but I sort of kind of doubt it. People have a really hard time giving up free shit. Just look at the welfare state. I mean, what would the best thing for black people be? Stop taking welfare. Get a job. Learn some skills. Improve yourself. Yeah, that'd be the best thing, right? Nah, you got 3 generations now in some households that have been on welfare and never had a fucking job. Jesus Christ. The best thing for them would be to stop taking that welfare cheese, that government cheese, and go get a job. But they don't. It's very interesting. People rarely do what's best for them if it's difficult. If they have an option that's easier and they'll still be able to continue to survive and even benefit, it's not what's best for you, but it's easier, right? Yeah. All right, so that's it. I think I'm going to end the show on that note. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment in the comments section. And if you'd like to be on the show in the future, please feel free to email me at admin@therealistphilosopher.com. That's admin, A-D-M-I-N, @therealistphilosopher.com. This show airs Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. New York City time. So friend me on Skype. I'll add you. You can be on the show. Also, consider following me on Facebook. I'm Magus Reason there. Twitter, The Realist 1967. And I'm also on Gab and Instagram as The Realist Philosopher. I post quite a bit on Twitter and Facebook, so you follow me there. You'll get to see a lot of my comments and interaction with the wacky, nutty social justice warriors of the left. And I also post updates for new content, so you want to check that out. Also, I'm on DLive now. DLive is a new platform that's very much like YouTube. You can post videos there, live streams, and it's blockchain technology, so guess what? Very little censorship, okay, if any. And you're also able to donate to me on a one-time basis using Bitcoin that you can buy with PayPal, credit cards. So if you like my work and you would like to show your appreciation for my work by making a donation, which enables me to make more content, you can do that on DLive. And you'll find the link in the description. Essentially, they have their own cryptocurrency, so you buy it using PayPal or credit card. It gets converted into their crypto coin on their platform, and then you can donate however much of that crypto coin you want to various content creators on that platform. I know PewDiePie is there now. He's doing all his live streaming exclusively on DLive. So hopefully it really takes off and supplants YouTube, because we certainly need more competition to, curb some of this censorship that we're getting from the established mainstream social media. So go and follow me there, please. And that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day.